So, what does it mean to say no to something? It means that you don't have to explain. So, one of the things that floats around social media a lot is this idea of looking back and asking, what would you say to your younger self if you could tell her anything? That's my pronoun. Tell her or him anything. And one of the things that I started saying is what I would say to her is to say no. And that there are too many times in your life where you said yes to things that did not serve you, either out of ignorance because you didn't know any better, or out of fear of being left alone, or out of desire to be accepted, or because you just were bored. Because a lot of us say yes to things that are not good for us because we're just bored with where we are. And what I would say to my younger self is that you just need to learn how to say no and stick with your no and not feel like you have to explain. Because we forget that no by itself is a complete sentence. It doesn't require any explanations or qualifications. It doesn't require any arguments or conversations. No is, in fact, a declarative statement. And it's one that many people need to learn how to use much more effectively as they're moving through their life, because the goal of living, I feel, is to be whole, happy, and healthy in the choices that you're making. And if a choice doesn't leave you whole, happy, or healthy, or make you better in some way, then it should be a no. And it's not always a no. And this is why there are so many marriages that end in divorce and so many relationships that fall apart. Not because of necessarily that the people in those relationships are bad people, but they have forgotten how to use their no, because there's this idea that in a relationship, yes is the best answer to everything. And that is not always the case. Sometimes no is the most appropriate answer for many things. Um, Understanding that there's always going to need to be compromise and coordination with your significant other, but there also has to be a space to say, this is where I don't, this is a line that I cannot cross, even for you, person that I love. And instead what we tell people is that, you've got to find a way to get to yes. Find your way to get to yes. Some of the best things in the world have come out of people just saying no, whether it's no, I won't give up, right? Or no, I won't go back, or no, that's not the path that I need to choose. I need to stay on this path. For me, I remember a story that Oprah used to, excuse me, that Lisa Nichols used to tell about Oprah Winfrey that sticks in my head as I'm going about my life trying to build my business and build my world. And that is that Lisa Nichols was offered a talk show, a show, and people kept saying, she could be the next Oprah Winfrey. And I love Lisa Nichols. And it's so profound that she said, if you want me to be the next Oprah Winfrey, I can 100% guarantee that I will fail every time. But if you want me to be the best Lisa Nichols, I'm your girl. And that's really important, because so often we think if we just say yes to every opportunity, no matter how bad it seems to us, we can make gold out of that, instead of recognizing that our lane is our lane and we are recognized by what we do in that lane because it's our lane. And when we say yes to things that we should have said no to, instead of going, I will 100% fail if I do that for you, but if I do this for you that I do really well, if I say yes to this over here and no to that over there, I will 100% guarantee that we will get where you want to be by going in the lane that I'm already in. And that is the same thing for relationships. If you can look at someone and you want to spend your life with and go, I 100% can guarantee that the person that I am here, if this is the person that you love, I'm the yes person for you. But if what you're looking at is my potential, or what I could possibly do for you in the future, or the possibilities of where we could go, that's all great, but you got to accept me for where I am right here and now. So it may just be that I'm not the right person for you. And as hard as that may sound, if that happens the day you're walking down the aisle, it's still the right time to say no.